Hello. I said obviously I had some post due last time I spoke on the video that I was eagerly awaiting and I hadn't received them yet. So I did receive last night in Soho. I really like Edgar Wright's movies. I'm kind of a sucker for them. I always want to get the physical release copies. I think the only one of his films I haven't picked up yet on physical release is the Sparks Brothers documentary, which is excellent. And I do have that on iTunes with lots of extras. But Last Night in Soho is a film I saw, I loved. I rewatched it just last night, loved it again, arguably even more. I think the visual style is superb. I think the central performances are fantastic, and the fact that you have Diana Rigg and Terence Stamp in main roles, plus a really canny small role for Rita Tushingham, who, if you've watched Hammer movies and gone through lots of them, you might have seen her performance in a very strange little film called Straight On Till Morning. And it feels like an interesting connective thread. I highly recommend it. I've seen some people who didn't like Last Night in Soho. I get it. It's very much I don't think it's necessarily a style over substance thing, but it is style first and foremost, and the atmosphere and the visuals are fantastic. Also received a classic British schlock. Don't go in the house. Don't. That's just another Edgar Wright reference there. It's not a absolute favourite of mine, but those films, especially any films with "don't" in the title from that time, you're talking sort of early 80s, late 70s to mid 80s, I'd say would be the peak time for the video nasty scandal and the films that were put out there and then grabbed off shelves before they could pollute the minds of everyone who may accidentally rent them. I like the connotations of those movies and the memories they evoke of video stores that you could wander into, and it was okay because you had like a card with your mum and dad's signature on it and nobody cared, and you could rent pretty much anything as long as they knew you. And then that started to get clamped down on. So Don't Go in the House is for me, it's not a great movie, but it is a great example of that type of movie that as you're watching it sort of feels like it's made to get people up in arms and create a slight controversy that, like many films on the video nasties list, the scandal, the controversy was often way more interesting and substantial than the films themselves. There's a lot of bad films on that list, but Don't Go in the House is far from the worst of them. I had to pick it up. I had to get it, and yeah, it's one of those you watch and it reminds you of having this stack of VHS tapes to watch. Today, this arrived, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Loved it. I said in my review on my blog, which is For Is Man's Number, at blogger.com. It's blogger or blogspot. Can't even remember my own blog, and I've been writing it for years. I said it's not a great movie, but it is a great Resident Evil movie. I stand by that. There are moments in here that are ripped straight from the games. The characters are, I think, like really well done. I know I've seen people complain about the depiction of Leon in here. I just think there are a couple of times when they overdo it, but generally it's really good, and everyone's pretty much in line with how they are. If you've played, the first 3 to 4 games a lot, then you know the characters and you know how they would be when they first all get together. That's the important thing, when they first all get together, when they are unprepared for the zombie mess. Anyway, this is out on disc today, and I highly, highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of the games. Oh my god, it's all going horribly wrong. The other thing I wanted to say was that obviously, I don't know about the rest of the world, but in the UK, we're about to have massive fuel price rises. The cost of living shooting up, wages aren't going up. So it's just a reminder that as a film fan, for finding resources to watch your movies, like I love having this, and this is my thing, but this is what I spend my money on. I don't drink anymore. I don't smoke. I rarely gamble. I would rather sit in with a movie than go for a night out, or, you know, even sometimes get a takeaway. But lots of people don't have those choices either. Lots of people, even if they were, you know, sacrificing everything else, wouldn't necessarily then have the extra money for buying a load of movies or getting Netflix or Amazon Prime, or like, I've got lots of streaming options as well that I really like, but they all cost money, and I'm fortunate to be in that situation. What I would say to people, if you've got internet connection and you're all good there, then don't forget the Internet Archive has a section with loads of the old movies on there that were sort of pre-copyright, the public domain stuff there on there. The same movies would be available on YouTube, as well as some other choice selections that you can find there if you're looking around. You know, it's not a grey area. If they've been uploaded there and they're not in the public domain, then they shouldn't be uploaded there. If you are looking for stuff to watch for free and they're there, then you have that option until they're removed. That's what I'll say about that. If you've paid for a TV license, then you have access to BBC iPlayer, which has some films usually on there as well. Channel 4 On Demand has the shows, but I think has a few movies on there. I'm not sure about the ITV player. So that's a good option. If you can do any free trials, then you might want to look at Netflix, the Arrow video player. There's the BFI player, which has a good selection on there. Mubi is a streaming service that I mention a lot on the podcast. It's very much more independent and art house films and classic films over the years. But if that is where your tastes lie, then you can usually get, you know, at least maybe a 7-day free trial there. So these are all things that you might want to look at. I think they charge for discs if they have them at your local library. So that's, you know, a difficult option. If you do have a few spare pounds and like to have a few movies, you know, for yourself, then go for a charity shop rummage or check out somewhere like CEX or whatever. You can get loads of DVDs now for cheap, and you know, a lot of these came from charity shops and were secondhand and are generally in good condition. So that's always another option as well. I wish I could offer more helpful practical suggestions, but you know, if you have the internet, you know where you can look about, and you know what can be available out there without having to pay, be it YouTube, Internet Archive, you know, the iPlayer service and all that. Also, for as little good as it does, welcome to Raccoon City, that I almost tried to just wreck with the rest of my collection, reminding me that I've upgraded a lot of my Resident Evil movies. So this is a box set with the first 3 movies, and there's a bonus disc in there. It is taken care of and loved, but it is available for someone who would like it. So what I would like to do is give this away to someone. There will be the person who last won a competition is ruled out of this, so they can't. It has to be UK only, and you have to... I guess you're just going to have to tell us your favourite Resident Evil moment from the games or from the movies. You have to comment under the video your favourite Resident Evil moment, and we will let them accumulate for a little while. Want to spread the word of the competition, so I'll share this around. Favourite Resident Evil moment from the games or the movies, comment there, and one lucky winner, as long as you're in the UK, will receive this. I know it's maybe not much, but it is a nice little, as I say, 4-disc set, and it's just the movies in there with a bonus disc. So if you like Resident Evils, then you may want that. That is it for this week. I'm done causing damage in the cinema room, and we'll see what comes next week. I'll speak to you then. Bye.